Hello everybody, it's July of 2017 and it is hotter than a devil's ass outside. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Michael Jenkins and today I'm going to be discussing some current events. I'm going to be talking about the prison in St. Louis. I'm going to be talking about the Facebook video that made headlines and the White House with all of the foolishness that it's been having going on, but just some updated foolishness. So let's get into the prison. St. Louis minimum security prison that houses over 700 inmates. Some women, some men. But on the men's side, there's no air conditioning, no AC, no nothing. Now mind you, we've been in a heat index for over a week. I'm hot right now and I have the air on. So I couldn't even imagine being in that prison with absolutely no AC. The inmates were screaming to the top of their lungs saying, help us, it's hot, there's no AC, there's no air in here, help us. Repeatedly. There was people recording it and put it on Facebook, but actually. So, with that being said, there was a large gathering of protesters outside of that medium security prison that had picket signs and was chanting and all this stuff, which brought a lot of attention to that prison. And now they have temporary air conditioners. So my thought is, now you can get temporary air conditioners, but when it was sweltering hot and nobody knew and nobody was saying anything and these people were almost dying in that prison, it was just all good. The person who was running the prison, the ward, was questioned about these heinous conditions, and he responded, well, we don't have a lot of resources. Motherfucker, do you have AC at your house? Do you have resources at your house? This is the United States of America. We do not accept, condone anything of cruel and unusual punishment. And that was cruel and unusual punishment to have those people. Those are people's family members. I don't care what they did. I don't care why they're there. That's somebody's family. That's somebody's uncle, somebody's brother, somebody's son, somebody's father that's behind those bars, dying basically from heat exhaustion, this heat wave, this heat index. They're not being taken care of the way they should. The warden had one job. Well, he probably had a lot of jobs, but in this case, he had one job, and that was to keep people safe. And he wasn't doing that by not having any AC and screaming help from behind bars. So let's move on. There's a 10-year-old kid from Florida who has stolen. He's been caught 4 times in 6 weeks stealing cars. He's been getting behind the wheels of cars, driving them, just hitting licks on cars. Come on now. This kid is 10 years old. Where's the parent at? Oh, she was asking for help. She asked the people, whoever run the area in Florida that she lives in, she was asking the state for help in dealing with her son. Now, I'm all about help. I'm all about helping people out. There's some people who has mental illnesses, who needs help, who needs the extra help. We shouldn't be 4 cars later when you're asking for help in 6 weeks. Your 10-year-old son stole 4 cars in 10 weeks. After his 3rd car, he was placed on house arrest. He cut off his ankle monitor to go steal another car. Now he clearly has a problem My problem with this is that this should have been addressed a long time ago, not after 4 offenses of stealing cars. So the kid is currently in juvenile detention for the next 30 days, and the state has agreed to offer some help in dealing with this kid. So hopefully he gets the help he needs. There's clearly something going on past behavior at this point. I just felt like it could have been dealt with a long time ago before it got to this point. Like, you as a parent could have done something as far as disciplinary, and stealing 4 cars in 6 weeks, clearly that probably wouldn't have worked as you planned it to. But this kid should have gotten professional help long before he stole 4 cars at 10 years old. Maybe 1 car at 10 years old, not 4 in 6 weeks. That's crazy. Other news in Florida. This is actually sad to talk about. There was this. Actually, I was scrolling. Let me just take you from start to finish. I was scrolling through my timeline on Facebook, just seeing what's going on. I saw this. It looked like it was just a video. I don't know if it was live or just a video, but it was a video, and it said how you watch somebody drown. And I was like, what? That's not real. They have to be joking, or this has to be fake. So it says how you watch somebody drown. I started watching the video. Sounds like they're teenagers, like 15, 14, 16, somewhere in that age, recording this guy in the middle of a lake, basically drowning, screaming for help. I'm not making this up. I thought it was fake, so I continued to investigate this video, and I actually found actual news from news sites saying that a man actually died in the lake from drowning, and it was caught on video by teenagers who didn't help him. He was out in the middle of the lake drowning, saying, "Help me, help me." He was coming up and going back down, coming up and going back down. And the teenagers are basically just laughing, saying, "I ain't jumping in there. I'm not helping him." What, man? Have you seen somebody die before? You're seeing somebody die right now? And they're basically just making a joke out of it, but they're being so serious because they're really just not going to help him. And me watching the video, I'm like, if I was there, I would just jump in that water and try to do something. Like, can you call for help at least? If you're not going to do anything, can you call for help? So they basically just continued recording him, and until he just didn't come back up from his saying, "Help me," going up, under, and above the water. And he just really just didn't come back up. And they're like, "Oh, bro, not coming back up. Bro, not coming back up. He really not coming back." And they're just like, "Oh man, pass me the blunt." Like, that's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. I can hardly sleep at night now because I feel like I just saw somebody die, just drowned. And that's a horrible way to go too, because you're just helpless. When you're drowning, you are helpless. And then I tried to put myself in their shoes and say, well, when I was 15, could I swim that? First of all, this guy's in the middle of a lake. That's number one. These kids are 15, 14, whatever. Me, myself, can only swim enough to save my own life, let alone try to save somebody else's life. But you gotta be creative. You can throw something out into the water, swim out there to them, say, look, grab onto this floating thing and you swim back yourself. I don't know. But, I mean, they could have done something. So the family of this guy is trying to press charges against the teenagers who recorded him, saying that it's against the law to not help anybody when they're in need or whatever. However, the Florida law says that nobody is obligated to help anybody in need. So the teenagers basically didn't do anything illegal. However, the family's lawyer or whatever, the police of the family are trying to get something on the kids to charge them with something, and the thing they came up with as since the kids did not call 911 when there was an emergency, that they can be charged with a misdemeanor crime. Please tell me how you feel about that in the comment area. I'll comment back. Let's have a discussion. Let's have a conversation. The foolishness in the White House is so real that it's hard to follow. It's hard to keep up with. It's just something new every other day. Like, damn, do you take a break? The White House don't get tired. I feel like I'm watching this scandal with Kerry Washington all over again. Like, but it's not handled. They need Kerry Washington at the White House to handle this shit because they're out of control. Donald Trump doing whatever he wants to do, still talking about I can't get over when he said I inherited a mess from Barack Obama. Motherfucker, you inherited gold from Barack Obama. When you stepped into that White House, everything was kosher, ready to go for you. He welcomed you in with open arms. He shook your hand. He took a picture with your bitch ass. Like, he was riding for you. And he kind of convinced other people to like, hey, give him a chance. Give him a chance. Let's see how it goes. Don't judge him before he makes decisions. And you had to go fuck that up. Immediately. Talking about, like, Barack Obama inherited a mess from George Bush's 8 years in the White House. He inherited some bullshit. Just giving away money, just bailing people out because it was so real for him. You inherited gold, and we know you're in love with gold because you're trying to make your skin that color for some reason with all this tanning. I'm just so confused. Donald Trump also hired, the press secretary, Sean Spicer, resigned a couple days ago because Donald Trump hired, I don't know if anybody cares about this part, but Donald Trump hired a new communications director who has no communication experience at all, so I don't know why he did that, but like I said, he does whatever he wants, so that's what he did. Sean Spicer was not with the shits, and he said, he did one of these to Donald Trump and said, time for me to go. I've looked like a fool enough, so I'll let somebody else start looking like a damn fool, and I'll take my break on the couch and watch y'all. So Sean Spicer, the one who's verbally abusive to the reporters at the White House. Literally, if you saw a press conference, he'd be low-key trying to fight them, like trying to give them these hands, but he's really not about it. But yeah, that's what's going on with that. Police chief in Minneapolis has resigned at request of the mayor because of all these killings from the police. If you're not aware, I can re-jog your memory from a couple people. I'm looking on at my notes right here. November 2015, Jamar Clark, unarmed black man, 24 years old, killed by the police. Just last year, July 2016, Fernando Castillo, killed by the police because he got pulled over. Let me re-jog your memory quick. He got pulled over. They said license registration. He says, okay, by the way, I have a legal firearm on me, and then the cop shot him. This month, July 2017, a white lady who's 40 years old, unarmed, was also killed by the cops because she called about, she heard somebody in the alley. She said it sounded like a domestic dispute going on. It sounded like somebody getting assaulted in the alley behind her house. She called the cops on them. The cops came out. I don't know what happened with those people, but apparently she started approaching the cops' car and they just unloaded on her and killed her. it's just like, why are we calling the cops on people if they're more scared than us? Like, seriously. You're more scared than us, but we call you to help us, but you'll kill anything that you see breathing because you're scared? So who do I need to call if I need help? Because it can't be the cops, because you might as well run away from the police call. Like, I'm just confused right now. I don't understand at all. But she stepped down at the request of the mayor, so they're trying to switch things up in Minneapolis. I say you switch things up by getting some convictions of these cops killing these people, because it's really out of control at this point. I named off 2 black people that got killed in Minnesota, and a white lady who's 40 years old who left 2 kids, who was actually a bride-to-be, who got killed in Minnesota. But you're switching things up by having the police chief resign. Like, I understand that's some change, but she's not the one out here killing people. The cops are the ones out here killing people, and the cops are the people who need to be convicted, not the police chief. She needs to be reprimanded, but let's take it a whole hell of a lot step further and start convicting these people who are killing these innocent people. And as always, thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel, the subscribe button, and then right next to it there's a little bell, and it gives you a notification anytime I upload another video. So, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, and again, my name is Michael Jenkins. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.